This is another weird thing that I was thinking about.
The director unsuccessfully argued in court that the excrement was actually chocolate ice cream.
Oh yeah, you know way too much about me.
If they had cat videos, they'd probably have more horns.
Somebody listening right now is offended and turned off Scrambled the egg.
That's the hill I will die on.
I respect it.
Listen,
That escalated quickly, though.
By the way, it's called Scrambled YEGs.
So, Alex, what are we talking about? What just happened there?
Nothing.
I don't want to talk about it.
We're talking about the video we just did, which
Is already up.
Is already up?
Yeah, it'll be up this Friday.
Damn.
We'll link it below.
Yeah.
Jim choked me out is what happened,
Yeah.
all right? It
I
was
had Alex
very
on a leash,
It was so fun.
and we were doing some, like, trust exercises.
Turns out I don't trust anyone.
And I pulled it when he wasn't expecting it, and then he ripped it right
Should
off.
we do a reenactment?
No. I hate you.
And why was that involved in the video we were just making?
Yeah.
Why was what involved?
The
Kinky fun.
yeah.
The kinky fun time.
Yeah.
I was wearing cuffs. You had a.
That's yours. That's your fault. You have.
Yeah. I accept full blame, so.
She had a blindfold on, so.
I did. Oh my god, the kink level was too high.
Listen, that's the only one of your videos that still show up in my feed for some reason.
That's because you're a pervert.
All of the, yeah, I don't know what my Google history is. But Google Ads is like all of your other videos that are like advice or like opening.
You're like trash.
And nothing.
Dicks?
And then it's like
Yeah.
sex toy videos, top of my list. Like recommended for you. Your ex-girlfriend looks at plastic dicks. All right.
I know you masturbate to those videos.
I have never once masturbated to those videos.
But now you've held a dick in one of them.
I want to see
Oh
these.
boy.
I don't know if I have them anymore, actually.
Well, don't say things like
I
that. You
did.
got me excited to see them.
I'm sure they're somewhere.
Well, send them to me when you
Okay.
find them.
Deal.
Just randomly, I'm
Go
like,
right
oh, that's
back.
me. God, I'm so
Dig
hot.
through the cloud.
Yeah. You ever get a new phone and you're like, oh, hey, whoa.
No, I haven't done that yet, but
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Every time I get a new phone, there's like folders of like photos and I'm like, I didn't know that I saved those.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're not an iPhone guy though, right?
No.
Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. It's because I've bounced around so much. I did have an iPhone. I had like a Windows phone and then I had a Galaxy, then an iPhone, and now another Galaxy.
Did you stop having a Windows phone because no one else ever has had a Windows phone?
Yeah, they stopped selling them.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, my Windows phone.
It's like inventing the telephone. Like the guy who had the first phone who's like, sick. Who can I call?
Yeah.
You
had
still
the modern
call
day
the
app.
other kinds of phones. It wasn't
No,
like,
not with a Windows phone.
it was like I was using like a fucking HD DVD player instead of a Blu-ray. Like, it was still a functioning telephone.
So there's iMessage, blue texting, there's like gross phone, green texting. What does a Windows phone show up as?
It's the
Nothing.
same.
A handwritten
Zero.
letter in the mail.
It's just green, all right? It's like having an LG or a Google Pixel.
Yeah.
Don't compare Windows to LG and Google Pixel. That's
Listen,
just
guys.
insulting.
Hey, listen, they were the first ones to do the shit that everyone's doing with music now, where you have to pay $10 a month and you get unlimited downloads. They were doing that in like 2008, which is the reason that I bought one.
Oh.
So suck it.
All right.
Good point. You win that one.
All right, let's recap that. It's Alex 1, Ashley 0, Jim 0.
That's right. Listen here, folks. I'll take you down on the big issues.
He's missing football to record this, so it's a game.
Everything's a competition.
Oh, are people going to be weirded out that you're in a different location?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so. Because we're worldwide.
Oh,
We're
shit.
in like central Edmonton, very south Edmonton.
Very so.
That's about it.
Yeah, those two.
Worldwide, man.
I don't know how I'm gonna find my way out of this place. I grew up in the deep south, and like it's so confusing to get a. I think I took like 7 lefts, 4 rights, a U-turn, 3 more lefts and a right
Yeah.
to get here.
That's how you get here.
That is
Yeah,
the
that's how you
directions.
get here.
And the my map app just kept saying the name of the street. Oh, like turn left on this street, turn right on this street. this because it was just like snaking through.
They're all the same name,
Like,
except
this is a
there's
trap.
like
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loop and lane and crescent and
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's a
It's
great
fun.
time.
It's fun. South Edmonton, Millwoods is the same. It feels like a ghetto ass like. Fuck.
Place? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
No, just like one of those like suburbs where everything's all like shamrocks.
Yeah,
like,
little
nothing,
cul-de-sacs. and-
Yeah, nothing connects in a straight line for some reason.
Yeah, if you're trying to go like, okay, I'll just go up like this street till I get to the avenue that I'm looking for, and then I'll be there. Not gonna work.
Yeah, I think
You're gonna end up in a different part of town.
No, at that point it's faster to walk.
Yeah. Well, sometimes in Edmonton, it's faster to just fucking walk. That our contribution to the climate change fight is just having constant construction. So the people are like, "Fuck it, I'll take the
I'm
bus."
just gonna walk.
This is bullshit.
My brother walked from the ranch all the way back down to Beaumont one night because they were too cheap to get a cab.
Good lord,
It
that's
took
a
them
trek.
like 4 hours.
When I was like 18 or 19, I definitely walked from White to like I lived in the Meadows on the southeast
Yeah.
because I was just so hammered and so poor. And so I was walking down. Well, I probably like I just did. I was like a kid.
I love that you spend like $96 at the bar and then you're like $27 for a cab.
No, I
Fuck
just
that.
didn't have the 27. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was supposed to keep some left over.
Yeah, I've done that too.
This is way back, you know. But dressed like Diener from Fubar, walking like, and I was just in
Was
my
it Halloween or were you
yeah.
dressed
No,
like
it was
that?
Halloween. Yeah. But I remember
That's my
thinking
everyday
like
get-up.
I was trying to think of how to get there, and I was just like, well, I've driven this way, so I like walked through the White Mud and like along the merge and like on the side of the. It was like the most stupid,
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
but you know,
Were
that's
you
how-
so tired?
probably, but I was more drunk.
I was more drunk than I was
You
tired.
got home, you found your way.
A cab eventually picked me up, and I was like, I don't really want it, man. And he's like, just fucking get
That's so funny. I remember one time I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm too drunk. The cabs will not let me in their cars. And then she came and picked me up. I was like, I'm walking south on Calgary Trail.
Oh man, I went through a phase where I would wander. I would just kind of leave the group, and,
Dude, I used to
and
do
people
that.
would call me and they'd ask where I was, and I'd just be looking at signs like I don't know.
This is giving me so much anxiety. You guys are literally ruining my mental health right now.
Really?
That's so not ever something that I would ever do.
It's
and
terrible.
It's
That was like
Oh, it's
yeah,
so
like
fun.
18 to 20, I don't know, something.
Yeah, probably 25 for me. I used to do that all the time. I just dip.
It's
Like
bad.
I'd be at the bar and with all my friends, I'd be like, I want to go to a different bar, and then I'd just leave.
I would just
Just-
wander.
yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
It was
You
fun.
just jumped so much when I touched you. You're like, no, I'm
so
PTSD.
It's a safe space, man.
Listen, guys, I'm stressed.
I'm not gonna choke you out again. You can relax.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
I honestly think it's a miracle sometimes that I like made it home all the times that I went and got blackout.
I know. There's been some times where I'm like, "Eee."
Yeah. And then I like had it all under control, and then I started doing comedy, and I was like at the bar all the time,
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, really, it's real easy to do comedy and start getting wasted for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, people would buy you drinks, right? Like,
Yeah.
great show.
Well, you're also just at the bar. You're like, well, fuck, I'll have a beer.
You're at the
You're like with
bar.
your buddies. Having
Yeah.
some-
It's like all you and your friends, like, you know when you and your girlfriends go out and, like, you just drink wine and then you get to talking and later you're like, wow, we drink a lot of wine.
Yes, yes.
It's like that, but, like, we're every night. It's like
Yeah.
just you and the dudes and the waitress comes by and she's like, your guys' beers are low. You're like, ah, yeah, yeah. Then you're like, holy fuck, we had like 9 beers tonight.
Don't you get, like, tired?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's not like a healthy, good thing. You don't
You're like,
feel-
no, I love this
Yeah.
lifestyle.
I like had it all under control, then I started doing comedy, then I was like, oh, but at first I was living in Sherwood Park, so it was like so much driving back and forth.
Yeah.
I started doing comedy when gas was like $1.30 because I'm just like really smart.
Right, and rich.
Yeah, totally.
So rich.
Smart and rich.
Smart and rich. That's why
And
I
handsome.
am where I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
so pretty.
But then I moved downtown, and then I was like, wow.
You said that sarcastically
I did say it's
to his face. Yeah, it's so pretty. And he's like sitting there trying to tell a story.
It's not your show anymore. Okay?
Oh yeah, it's so pretty and rich. You fucking loser.
But once I moved downtown, I remember thinking like I went to Urban on a Sunday and I was like, okay, well I could walk here, so like fine. And I was like, wait, I should get a bit drunk and then walk home so that I get used to walking home a bit faded. And then I just got hammered and probably missed work the next day. I was like, what the fuck am I like? What? It's so easy for me to just like talk myself like, hey man, but what if I did it this way?
What if I did it this worst way?
Yeah. Now I'm like,
great.
oh, I can like walk to shows now. It's awesome. And then like, I'm just like, well, that means I can have like 6 drinks.
Yeah.
Like, does it?
Does it?
Like, oh, like
it
it's
does.
at station. I'm like, oh, there's the comics tab, and like they'll often just like, no one uses it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, you don't have to pay for anything. Like, oh, well, in that case,
7 beers,
sure, I'll have,
please.
yeah.
I will have 2 more and a shot.
Well, I'm gonna walk home, so somehow that equals it out.
Yeah.
It does. It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. I only have to work in the morning.
Yeah, I guess
That's
that's
a much more important
See,
thing
I
than
don't-
stand-up comedy to my life.
I don't have to do that at all. There's like times where I'm like, I gotta be up at like
No, I don't have to be up ever.
11.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't have to be
I could sleep
ever.
forever.
I can sleep until who cares? Who cares?
I have to be at station for 7 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's my week.
Should probably get up at like 6:30 on Wednesday.
Hey, I have to bartend sometimes at like 11.
That's fair.
It's hard.
Do you still work at your old place that you worked at?
I start a new job tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Moving DT.
Yeah, I'm moving downtown.
I'm gonna
Moving
go
further
for
away.
lunch and hang out with him.
Yeah, come to Central Social Hall for
You
lunch.
should get them to sponsor our stuff.
Hey, say, hey, new employer.
Hey, new employer,
Sponsor
I
our
have
shit.
some demands.
Listen, you want to see me and my co-host talk about me getting choked out in front of my ex-girlfriend? Pay for it, all right? New employer.
Yeah. And if you sign up to our
That's why
Patreon
I'm
account, you can see him actually getting choked out.
By his ex-girlfriend.
We'll watch it in slow motion where you can see his body language change.
See the fear in my eyes.
You like kind of curled up when it happened.
It was not fun. Here's what happened, guys. We were unboxing sex toys.
Mm-hmm. Her idea.
Because, see, that's what I do. I make YouTube videos.
For the people watching, this is one that you can put around your penis.
Yeah.
And then you cinch it up, and those
Right.
rubber bands get nice and tight and keep all the blood in there.
That's, can you even look at
There
it?
you go, man.
No, I don't want that anymore.
So this is what happened.
There was a leash, and then I was like, we'll put this on, haha. And then I was like, here, Jim, have this end.
Very trusting.
You
And
really
then,
brought a lot of this on yourself.
and then he was like, haha, and tugged on it. I was like, this is funny. And then we were talking, and then he just pulled on it when I was not expecting it. I was like, all right, I'm done with all of this.
It's good.
like-
It's
Are you
good
okay
times.
now, do you think?
No, I need to take a nap. I need to take a nap in a cold shower.
You know what? This pulls out so you can take a snoozle.
So does he.
Hey, nice. There you go.
You're like, I don't. I stay right in there.
I stay in.
Commitment.
I pull in. I go deeper.
She's like, get out. I'm like, nope.
Nah. I'm paying rent.
Live here now.
That's too much. That would be tough to live your day-to-day life if you were living inside of someone.
It would be tough.
You wouldn't be able to do it. Well, you'd be constantly doing it, but you wouldn't be able to do
Anything.
anything.
Yep.
And
Do you
it would
think it'd be
difficult
a
to stay
way
in when
to
you were
do it?
soft?
Do you think in 2019 there'd be a way to like make it work? I bet-
You'd have to be
Yes, you are.
popping a Viagra every like 6 hours.
You'd have to be in a wheelchair also, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like a
it's a
straddle
wheelchair.
situation.
Mm-hmm. You'd have to have a system of mirrors to see around her.
Oh, and a poncho just so you can go outside without getting like indecency.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do it.
Actually, self-driving vehicles, I think, would like.
Yeah.
Self-driving
Or the
people.
bus. If you get
The
your
bus.
wheelchair lifted
Well,
up.
for now, the bus. Yeah.
The bus.
The bus, I guess. Like a DATS van.
This is so doable. This is so doable.
One of
It's
my
like
buddies drove didn't drive, I guess. He sat in the driver's seat of a Tesla while it was on self-driving mode the other day.
Was it sick?
Apparently. It was Raj. You remember Raj.
I do remember. Is he still dating?
Pardon me? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a long time
Self-driving
ago.
vehicle, that's intense.
Yeah. I'm so worried about self-driving vehicles taking over.
You know, well, the interesting thing is that when self-driving vehicles become the norm, the roads are going to be so much safer because human error is the number one cause of basically all collisions, and they're going to take over quickly because for all of like the fleet vehicles and all the company vehicles and everything, it's like it's much safer for them to be using those. And then pretty soon it'll be the insurance to drive yourself will be so high because you're even bigger of a risk. It's gonna happen like that.
The thing that I'm worried of is when it's the people who are like driving and the self-driving cars, and then the people fuck up and
that's what they're gonna make it very difficult for you to drive.
Yeah.
And probably after a certain point, it'll be like you won't be able to.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just excited to take a nap while I'm on the highway.
Totally. A nap always.
A nap always.
Yeah.
Road trips are going to be so much better.
Honestly, if you have to leave super early in the morning, you can sleep in your self-driving vehicle. You can probably set it to go.
Totally.
Or whatever. Wake up at where you're at. Have your robot servant do all your bidding.
Oh my god, I'm so
and
excited.
then drive you home.
Everyone's like, oh, robots are going to take over. Fucking good. I don't want to do anything anymore anyways.
Yeah. I'm sick of doing stuff.
I'm tired.
Honestly, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm over
Yeah. But once it gets to a point where like it's most of what we do is based on computers talking to other computers and we're just sort of out of the deal.
Yeah.
We're
just going to be their pets.
Yeah, and that's what I've always fucking wanted to be. Just
a
man,
dog.
man of luxury.
Exactly.
I can just hang out at home, do the odd stand-up comedy
give us all
set.
the things that we want just to keep us quiet so we don't revolt, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
As long as I still have the off switch somewhere. You know, I can go, oh yeah? Boop.
And then it comes
And they
back
go,
on, and
fuck.
it's like, are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding? Do you think that off switch actually works?
All you
Yeah.
want is
And then-
ultimate power. I get it. You want
Yeah.
everything for nothing with the ability to end it whenever you want.
But that's the beautiful thing, is they're going to make us feel like that's what we have, but it's just going to be all these robots living and doing their thing. And we're just going to be like, yeah, I control it. And they're going to be like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you control
You
it.
totally do, bro. Yeah. Anyways, here's where we're going. Like, oh, that's where I wanted to go. That's what I thought.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's where we're
thought.
going.
That's
So
scary.
excited.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
No, I love it.
it's kind of crazy, but it's basically like we get to retire in a much better way than anyone else ever has.
Yeah.
Most people that retire just
Yes.
No,
like it's going to be
you're not
taken from us.
excited?
It's going to be ripped from us, but
It's gonna be ripped from us.
still.
No, I just don't think it's gonna happen that way. I think we make too many mistakes.
They'll treat the first generation of human pets decent. In like 5 or 6 generations, it's going to be a very bleak scenario.
Right, but we'll be dead, so it doesn't matter.
Long dead.
Super dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our kids will be dead. It doesn't matter after that.
We really did hit the sweet spot where it's like the internet got invented, and then we were like, "Oh, cool! I'm alive right
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be way worse to be born like today
Yeah.
and have this life of like you. I was thinking about this for some reason on the drive over. Like, there's gonna be a time where like you tell someone like, "Oh, you typed in your 4-digit passcode," and they'll be like, "You had to physically do something?" Because we already have the facial recognition,
Yeah.
and that like 4 years ago it was like, "Oh, you can use your thumbprint." Crazy. In like 10 more years, who fucking knows what it's because the technology's moving so fast. We're just a fucking bag of bones.
I think it's gonna go so Black Mirror. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that eye implant that records everything.
But so I think we are in the sweet spot where like you kind of knew about the pre-internet time, and then you're like, oh, internet's cool. You get to like find the gross stuff on the internet instead of having it like
Shoved in
Yeah.
your face.
yeah, things are so gross to start with that like our gross is like, oh, 2 girls shit in a cup, like okay.
Right. Okay. So off of that, what's the grossest thing that you saw as a kid that like scarred you as a kid? Was it 2 girls, 1 cup?
I actually managed to avoid seeing that for a very long time.
But you've
Really?
seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I managed to avoid for a very long time. It would be something like that, I would say.
Dude, nothing scarred me. I was like a weird, like in the strangest way ever, like really curious about shit.
Yeah.
But like,
'Cause
in
you
the
have
same way
access
as
to it.
when you, it was like, I also was the kid in social class who would like flip through the book and be like, look at the dead bodies in like the World
Yeah.
War II pages. And be like, this is like actual pictures of like the Jew bodies at the fucking Holocaust. That's crazy.
And we're
And,
canceled.
but not because I was like trying to be weird. I
Yeah,
was
just
just
like,
like,
whoa.
yeah, I was like,
This
this,
is the reality.
insane. Like, yeah, this is crazy. And so when stuff was happening, I would like look up the like beheading videos and like, these dudes are literally cutting people's heads off and like suicide. I'm like, oh my god, someone caught on film, like someone jumping off a building. I would go
Yeah.
like find it and watch it and like be like, holy shit, that's what happens. Like,
Yeah, and way back then, you knew what like you could with a pretty solid amount of validity think this is a real video.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you're like, they can make a video of Obama saying anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
with,
those
like, the
deep fakes
deep
are
fake.
so scary.
It's terrifying.
That's
yeah.
so scary.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you saw that stands out for you?
Oh, as a kid, it was that girl who ate her own tampon, which turned out to be fake, but that made me literally vomit. It was so gross. Or the BMX Pain Olympics where they cut off people's dicks.
Oh yeah, the Pain Olympics
Oh.
were crazy.
That was
I forgot
insane.
about those.
That was insane. They just castrated a bunch of dudes.
Oof.
It was a real fun thing to watch as a kid.
I think it's nuts that and I don't think people really talk about it enough. In the last 5 maybe years, we've become so okay with like showing murders on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be like, okay, this is graphic, and it would be something like not that bad.
Yeah.
But now it's so common to be like, here's where the cop shot him in the back, and you see the guy. It's like, wow, like we're that desensitized as like a people that we're showing the stuff that you used to find on the weird internet sites.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, a beheading. I was
Do you
like,
know
here's what ISIS showed.
Yeah.
What?
Do you know what else this is weird. This is me getting all conspiracy theories.
Here we go.
But the weirder part to me is that like we started thinking that was weird because at some point like we were animals. It was like that's how you got dinner, dude. You fucking murdered something and ate its like
but just
blood out.
broadcasting it and like basically making money off it is kind
Yeah.
of it's just
But
like,
even
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
then, you would still have a society, right? Like, even cavemen had families that they
Yeah.
cared for. So there was still some level of, like, people
Yeah.
supporting people.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. I'm down with that. But it's weird that like we became like afraid of that for a while. You know what I mean? It's like I always thought it was weird that they like called like beef. It's like no, it's dead cow. We're eating insides of cows. Like it's weird that people are like
try to dress it up as something else so you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like the news. People are like I can't believe they're showing this on the news. It's like I can't believe this is happening in real life on the streets. Like what the fuck are you talking about? The news like. It's not crazy that it's happening there, but it's crazy that it's happening on the screen.
Well, it's crazy that they're showing it just because for
But like why is that?
why,
crazy?
well, why is because my whole life up to recently they wouldn't show that kind of thing.
Yeah, but see that's what's crazy to me is like that they weren't showing it before. It's like that's the crazy.
I mean, you
thing.
can get the point across without showing someone getting shot in the face.
I don't know. Can you though?
Well, I just think we've all become so desensitized. Like, you see all these school shootings. The first one,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sandy Hook, everyone was up in arms. Absolutely
Mhm.
crazy. It was a moment in history. And now, like, another one happens and you don't even blink at it.
Yeah, it's like there's been 50, name 5 other ones. You're like,
Exactly. You're like, I can't because they all fade into one.
yeah, and yeah, it's troubling. There's
Yeah.
there's so much, and I think partly it's the constant news cycle as well. Like it's hard
Right.
to detach from it.
And it's
Yeah.
also like that's what gets ratings now. Like that's
Mhm.
why you're gonna see it because it is so shocking.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that it's become
Yeah.
entertainment. Like what entertainment has become is so strange. Like even like politics. I
Oh
was
my
talking
god,
about
it
that
makes
the
me
other
so
day, like,
mad.
Yeah.
This Trump impeachment thing is literally like it's a TV show. Like they're
Yeah.
like the news is just a TV show. It's like
What some guy on the Democratic side dropped out of the presidential running, and Trump was like, he quit like a whimpering dog. It's like, fucking what? Like, what? He's like,
Level
that poor
of
bastard.
professionalism.
Yeah, the decorum has
It's
gone.
there. It's right there.
Yeah, even in like just politics across the board, it's yelling.
yeah.
I remember going to question period in grade 6, and like we went and watched, and I remember saying to my teacher like, these are the people that make these are the ones, because it's just like just banging on their desks and screaming at each other and thinking like, we can't do that.
Right?
Yeah,
Just
like, this is
talk
how-
like people.
Yeah, but it's become that.
It's crazy. It's also just become weird. Like, why was Trump even talking about that? Like, why was he on the news talking about this other guy quitting? Like, dude, you're the president. Go do president shit. Stop being on TV, bro.
Yeah.
Like, go be in the office.
That's his whole reason for being there. He wants to be on TV constantly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, shouldn't he be busy doing, like, paperwork?
What is he doing?
Have you come across any Trump-themed sex toys? I'm sure it
Yes.
exists.
Oh my god, it totally exists. Of course.
Like in a pro-Trump and an anti-Trump?
Ooh.
There's probably
I guess
a
if there's
divide.
like an Obama and a Trump, or like a Bernie Sanders, you know, that would just be.
Bernie Sanders makes me think of the
shriveled.
wrinkly one.
Yeah, that
No,
would be
it's just
shriveled.
the hugest one.
The wrinkly, veiny one.
And then it just
Somehow,
has like
for
all
some
the
reason, has
socialism
a pet
and
rabbit.
yeah, yeah.
Bernie and his pet rabbit.
Oh, feel the burn.
Oh,
Oh,
Feel the burn.
so excited to
feel the burn.
There you go, Adam and Eve. You're welcome.
Check it out, guys.
New
Get your
slogan.
sex.
So, like, what kind of is it like a thing with a big orange head, or?
It's just a big orange dick. And if
This
it
is
doesn't
the
exist
Trump-
yet, it
I
should.
guess that's sort of what he is. Just
I
a
feel
big
like-
orange dick.
I
Balls
always
just
called
have
him
a
the
comb
Cheeto
over.
president, right?
Yeah.
Like he looks like a little Cheeto.
Just a little
Looks like a
Just
big
a little
fat
Cheeto.
Cheeto. I know body positivity is a thing. This guy's a fucking asshole.
He's a fucking idiot. No,
he didn't.
sucks.
So the Washington Nationals, the current World Series champions, they didn't invite him to throw out the first pitch at Game 5, which he attended, and he came out and he was like, "I'm not going to throw the first pitch," and they're like, "We didn't ask you to throw the first pitch." But he was like, "Oh, partly, they're going to have all these, all this armor on me, and I'll look too big, so I don't really want to." And they're like, "We didn't ask you to, but."
Thank
You'll
you
look
for-
fat either way. You big asshole.
Oh,
I love that his wife just always looks like annoyed with him. She's always just sitting next to him like this
Yeah.
fat sack of
I
stupidity.
feel like she's just sitting there like this was not worth it.
Yeah. Did you hear how badly he got booed at that game?
Yeah.
And people were chanting, "Lock him up,"
That was
which was a nice little
amazing.
switch on his thing. But I guess he got more cheers than boos at the UFC last night. UFC 244.
Darn. The
Which
UFC
doesn't
people. Yeah, I was gonna
surprise
say.
me.
UFC fans really like Trump. That's strange.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that at all. I just want to make a comment about you've been playing with the cock ring for the entire.
I
Is
like
it-
it.
Is it comforting?
It looks like a
It's
bolo
nice.
tie. It looks like it would be a nice accessory.
It's soft. It's good to fidget with. You ever play with one of those squares that like fidget?
No, that was after my time.
After your time.
Yeah.
I did
Came out
play
like
with
2
them, a
years
year
ago.
Yeah.
Not a fidget
no.
spinner, but they're like little cubes and
Oh,
they
I
just
thought
have
you were
like
talking about
ball.
a fidget spinner.
No.
It was well after my
They're
time.
like. Thank you.
I just feel like you need to heal.
They're like little cubes and they have.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, you can't see shit.
Can you? I feel like there's light
Don't
peeking
touch
in the
me,
bottom.
Do you feel vulnerable?
I just thought Alex poked me in the eye. He already hit you on the face.
Yeah, with a dick.
Hey, no.
That was years ago. You're still bringing it up.
Told you not to talk about that anymore.
You gave me consent.
So fidget spinner. No, the square thing.
The fidget cubes, they're the best. I love. They're like basically like these things. They're like little. You can push them and you can roll them.
I
And
probably
you can
could have
pull
used
on
one of
them
those,
and
but I
they're,
never.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the greatest. They keep you from getting distracted. I would get in so much trouble in class for like drumming on my desk and doing stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, just hand me something then. Like, just let me do something. I just don't
Fair.
like sitting here doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get distracted all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like always. I'll be sitting there at work working on something, and then I'll do 4 other things, and I'll be like, "What was it? Fucking first thing I was doing." I'll have to open everything up and be like, "Was it that? Lunchtime."
It's because you were high, Jim.
No.
No.
See, I don't have that problem because I just work in my pajamas in bed.
That's pretty good.
Awesome.
Hmm.
It's so wet.
Yeah, I would sleep most of the time. I think if I did that, that would be the working from home thing.
Yeah.
It's probably sick, but I would just want to sleep.
Gotta
Yeah.
schedule in that nap.
I love to sleep.
Oh,
How do
sleeping's
you-
the best.
How do you motivate yourself to do stuff?
Totally.
It's like you work hard, but you're really lazy too.
Yeah, I don't know, I am.
Like, as a person who knows you, big Real
big lazy. Super love doing nothing at all.
Yeah. But you actually work really hard when you're like, all right, I set a deadline and need to get this done. How?
Because I don't like the procrastination thing where I have to get things done, because then if I'm just doing nothing, that's all I'm thinking about.
So it's the anxiety that keeps you going.
Anxiety runs my life.
That's good.
It keeps me going on all facets.
Talking to two comedians about anxiety. So the world's a shit place. Am I right?
Everything's garbage.
How's that been going? You were scared to leave the house and stuff or whatever? How's that
No, it's good. I've been good for the last little while. I think when we were dating, which was, 3 years ago? It was pretty bad because I didn't talk
Makes
about
sense.
it, right? He just ruined my life. But I didn't want to talk about it. And I think a lot of my self-esteem was connected to people seeing me as like a put together kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was not wanting to talk, and then got into therapy, and that was fun. And then you know about some of the stuff that happened with my family, right?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I was there for the beginning of it.
There was a fun instance, which I'll tell you about later, but it was very traumatic, and that was not a fun time. And then
I forgot about
more
that.
therapy. Oh, dude, it's like the highlight of my life.
It's crazy that I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you don't readily forget about murder attempts.
Jesus.
But no, it's good now. Got a house. I'm a very independent bitch. And I leave the house. It's fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been going out to places?
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
that been going?
Well, fine.
Fine? That's good.
No, it's been
Are
good.
you
I don't know.
surprised
It's
about
I feel like you and I haven't talked a lot in the last 2 years, and that's when my anxiety's been a lot better,
Yeah.
because therapy is very helpful.
It's therapy, Alex. It's not that.
It's not that we haven't
anxiety.
talked.
we haven't talked in a couple years, and I feel great.
I feel great about it. No, I don't know. I think especially also as you get older, like I don't know if either of you deal with anxiety or anything.
Definitely.
It's a lot easier because you have the coping
Yeah.
mechanisms for it.
100%.
Right?
I think therapy is a thing that has a lot of, it just has a certain stigma or
Totally.
whatever attached to it. And then I've been to therapy for the last few years, and just the act of talking to someone, it's not anything other than just talking through things with someone.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
I'm good, I think. Where I think a lot of people think of it as like, oh, you have to sort of admit weakness to go talk to this person to try and see if they can fix you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's really just a conversation with someone who understands how the mind works
Totally.
a bit more than you do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's nice to go in to somebody who doesn't have like an opinion either way about a situation that you're in. Like
Yeah.
that's so nice when you're not sitting there having to appease somebody or be careful of their feelings or be mindful of their place in a situation. So
And when you have the familiarity with a person too,
Yeah.
it can be maybe a year or two in, and you'll be saying whatever it is, and they know you, and they're
Yeah.
like, Jim, you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's I love that when you get
Getting
called out.
called out a little bit, and you're like,
It's
but
nice.
fuck.
Because I think when we were dating, I was really concerned with like keeping you having a certain outlook of me. So I didn't want to talk about it with you because I felt like that would change how you saw me. So I feel like that was like a pretty big problem in our relationship.
I think that's a very common feeling
Yeah.
for people that are going through mental health issues.
Totally. Yeah.
And I see it as like talking to other people about it is the first step towards being in control of it, and
Yeah.
so that's why you stop yourself from doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Exactly.
kind of a self-defeating type thing.
100%. No, for sure. Which I'm sure it was a fun instance for you.
Great. No, it's fine. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I can't relate to any of this.
Don't worry, man. The CTE will set in eventually.
It's
Your
on
years
its
of
way.
football, and you'll be like, "Oh, this is what." Oh.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Well, and you got a degree in psychology, right?
Yeah.
So did you also learn about like what you were going through? Was that weird?
I think it's nice to know that it is just a brain thing,
Mhm.
but it's also interesting to see all these techniques that like some of them work talk therapy, reduce the stigma of medication is really important. Like, I'm a big believer of, like, if you need to be medicated, do it. Like, there's no shame in...
It's medicine.
Yeah.
Literally medicine. It's like taking cough syrup.
If you're going to support scientific advances in every other aspect of your life, like if you're not going to, if you're like, I don't know, medicine, I don't really believe in it. Well, get in your rickshaw and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like,
those are like the people who are
not get an
anti-vax.
MRI?
I can't.
Yeah, it's just the one that was like, well, science has brought us this far.
Yeah.
And like the accepted understanding is this, so
Yeah, exactly.
just go with it. I'm not smarter than
Yeah. Yeah, like
No.
anti-vaxxers are
lunatics.
Crazy.
What
I've been
about anti-vaxxers?
I've been trying to do bits about anti-vaxxers, but it kind of well, because it obviously deals with kids who aren't going to live for very long.
Right.
It can, but I think that an unvaccinated child is the promise ring of relationships, because it, you know, anyone you know that's done a promise ring, you're like, that's cute, but like it's probably not gonna last. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know.
It's a great bit. I think it's
like
hilarious.
I think once Alex is saying, once I have a bit more, like some longer sets, I can pepper that in. But in a 5-minute, you know,
It's just a very
it's a
like
bit quick to
dead
say, hey, dead, and not only dead babies, like dead children.
dead
Yeah.
adult babies.
Children or adult babies, change my mind.
I also think that the whole anti-vax movement is fucking ISIS, because one day it'll be like, oh, did you hear, like, they wiped out Alabama? It's like, whoa, what did, like, chemical weapons? Like, nah, chicken pox. Because they don't even have to invest in the expensive stuff, because they know all of these people can die from the flu.
Maybe that's what it is. See, that was when I tried writing anti-vax jokes, that was my take on it. Was always like, yeah, I'm pro anti-vax. Let's do it. Anyone who's dumb enough to believe that, let's shut the genetic information down.
Dude, like,
let their kids
legitimately,
die. I
I'm
don't care.
so on that. Like, we need a plague. We need people
Yeah.
to die. And if they're the stupidest of us, like, great.
Yeah, if you're dumb enough to believe anti-vaccination propaganda, then you're the ones who should die.
Honestly, if some smart people die in the midst of that, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Collateral damage, baby.
Sometimes that
Exactly.
happens.
That's exactly what it is, man.
Do you think either of you could be, like, a serial killer? Or, like, ever kill somebody?
I could be. I've been watching a ton of war documentaries, and I've decided that if, like, I would have no problem going to war.
Okay.
Like, I would.
Why? What?
I don't know. I just, like, understood. It was crazy, like, what was going on with Hitler and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, to stop evil, sometimes you gotta go to war. And I'm like, yeah, I would kill Nazis to, like, stop evil.
Well, you want it to be a cop as well, and
Yeah.
there's like the inherent chance of that being a thing that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More
it's
now
like,
than ever before.
Yeah. I don't know. I just understand, and, like, I get the argument of people who are like, they're people too, and they're just doing the same thing, and, like, they're fighting for their side as much you're fighting for yours. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, and I don't hate the people who were Nazis, but I hate Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like...
It's unfortunate the way that we look at that, though, because it'll be like, oh, like a huge deal if one Canadian or American soldier is killed, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. Meanwhile, they'll be like, we tried to kill the leader of this segment of ISIS, we missed him, and we killed 65 civilians, but, like, we almost got the guy, so
Yeah.
we don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, this guy, we're going to have, like, big deal to fly him home, and we'll give him the proper...
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting way that
It's weird,
we
but,
look
like...
at the two sides.
It just shows how
But
you
you have to
value,
understand
like,
the
your
other
people.
side...
Totally.
The other side is doing it to you, though. 'Cause
Of course.
It's like, they're like, they killed 65 of our people. This one man is evil. He did it. Like, he was in charge.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean,
And
I was
so-
just talking, like, Dexter stuff. But, like, you guys are real serious.
We took it into war.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think
So,
so. I honestly
I
feel like it's a lot of work to be a serial killer. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work to be a one killer. And, like, if
Yeah.
you're gonna try and get away with it,
See, that's the thing. That's why I'd go to war. Because, like, well, I would kill someone, but it seems like I can't get away with it. Like, it'd be hard to
Yeah.
get away
So war.
with
yeah, a
it. You
sanctioned
get away
killing.
with it by just being at war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're murdering someone in society, it's real hard to get away with.
You're a bad
That's
guy
true.
if you do that.
Yeah, you're a naughty fellow.
But on like the more Netflix shows and whatever you watch, it's like, fuck, that is so much work, and you're not gonna get away with it.
no.
Yeah.
And even if you do, it'll be like 30 years later, and they'll be like, fucking found you, and you'd be like, oh shit.
This again.
You thought you got away
usually-
with that the whole. It would be weighing on you the whole time.
For what is also like for
Yeah.
what? Who? What?
I think it would have to be like somebody raped or murdered
I would do like a
somebody.
revenge kill.
Oh, I would super revenge kill.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not really.
I would
I
never
totally
do
would.
that. Just kidding.
I would definitely like full on, but I would also make it like public. I would just be like, I revenge killed this guy. Put me in jail. Like, here's his fucking head.
I wouldn't want to go to jail though.
Oh, I wouldn't care. I would be if like someone like
No, I'm getting
murdered
away with it.
one of my family members or something. I'd be like, oh, this guy's so dead.
Yeah.
Just in the streets.
No, I couldn't do prison. I'd be
Could you
everyone's
be a
bitch.
serial killer? Are you currently a serial killer? Do you plan to be
Currently, no.
one? Mm-hmm.
I think I could be like a Dexter serial killer.
Yeah.
But I would need like,
A lot of work though.
I know, I would have to get really buff first.
It's
You
messy
know?
too.
That's true.
What? That's
Yeah,
fine.
well, all
I'm a
that
very anal person.
plastic, and then you gotta. Well, there's a thing for that actually.
Yeah, so I just gotta
You're a very anal
just
person.
clean it up.
But yeah, it's honestly a tremendous amount of work that you have to do.
You know, we don't give serial killers enough credit.
And we don't have a body of water that you could really, because the North Saskatchewan is shallow as hell.
Is there any close graveyards?
But how you gotta dig so deep?
No. You go into an
know?
open grave, you dig down even further, put the body in there, put the
Does
dirt
that
back
not
in.
sound like a lot of work to do secretly
you
at a graveyard?
You dig a little
You
bit
dig.
for like an hour.
It's a few hours of work.
Or you can frame
You just,
somebody
as
else.
long as you don't
Mhm.
procrastinate, the
long as
anxiety
you don't
of
procrastinate.
killing someone.
You're like,
will-
fuck, what was I gonna? Oh my god!
Oh,
it's
the
still in my-
body!
Oh, it's in my trunk. Oh boy. And my trunk's at the dealership with the rest of my car. Oh dear.
Oh, took it for detailing. Oh, fuck.
You just get it back like, we cleaned everything except there was a spot in the trunk that we couldn't get out, so we just left that for you.
Thanks, guys.
Just like tip them real well.
Yeah.
Whew. I'll take care of that myself. Thank you.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah. It's Halloween. It's May.
It's
It was
a
on
prank.
sale. It was on sale. Off
Good
season.
prank, good prank, Kate.
Yeah.
There's the camera. Anyway.
Well, that's I have one sex shop joke in my act from when I was in like high school. Was on a school trip to Ottawa or something. We had a free afternoon, and it was just speaking about like the prank body parts. And we're like, oh, let's go into the. I was like 16. Like, let's go in the sex shop. Thinking it's gonna be hilarious. We walk in, very overwhelming. Just like all kinds of shapes and things I didn't know about. I'm like, oh my god. But then I was grounded because I saw this thing over here. I was like, oh, it's not Halloween, but they have one of those arms that you hang out the trunk of your car. So
rubber
people are
fist.
like, hey, and then I was like, that's not what it is.
Oh my god.
And I was like 16 and I felt my innocence just fucking.
Oh, I know what's going on.
I remember just being like, it's one of those jokes. Because I had called my buddies over, like, guys,
But then you bought it, right?
well, I was like, what do they use it for? And then I was like, whoa. Because it was just a forearm with a big old fist.
All
Did
made of
anybody
rubber.
manage it?
No.
No one took.
No, I had some thinking to do after that. I was in no mood to, you know.
So
That's
But I just
another
remember
lube it
seeing
up and believe.
a wall of sex toys and just being like, what even are these? Like some of them look like dicks, some of them really didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them. Did they have the Donald Trump one?
No, this was years ago.
Oh,
I
sad.
was 16.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
18 now, so it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I remember just seeing that and just being like, hey, look, it's one of those. Oh my god, it's one of those.
That's so
Oh
gross.
no.
Did you guys ever go to like San Francisco?
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
That I remember that happening because I was like, ooh, look, like electricity and like fun, like the dragon statues and the do like
Yeah.
that looks like a really big penis.
Didn't they tell you when you were going in, like, okay, if you have kids, don't go to the back of the store?
Yeah.
I think as a
But then
kid,
you
you were like,
always
I'm going
go
to the back of the store for
store.
sure, yeah. I
Well,
would
they
like
always-
hover mid-store for a bit. Oh, let's see what's back here.
The one in Millwoods Town Center kept all
It was
the
greasy.
posters
Oh, so greasy.
at the very back of the store,
Yeah.
so you had to walk past the dicks to get to the cool band posters you wanted to hang in your bedroom.
Yeah, because that's what
Yeah.
you wanted to go there for.
it is.
Sometimes it was, oddly enough, and it seems really lame now. But this is before the internet.
Yeah, we used to hang like
We
car
used to go-
posters and
go and
band
get
posters in our bedrooms.
I had, sports posters. I had a Roberto Alomar from the from the Blue Jays, like 92, 93 team. I had that on my wall for years.
Nice.
And then at one point I was like, why do I have a bunch of pictures of dudes on my wall?
Am I good?
Dudes in uniform.
That's funny. I had a concept Lamborghini on my wall since I was like 12. And it was like the best. It was super cool. It was all gold. And I remember I was going to get that, and it was from San Francisco. And there was like a weird, I was like, let's get posters. And then I was like, what are these? And it was like bongs and fucking dicks and like weird. I was like, what?
That was an amazing
is
store.
this? But I didn't know what any of it was, so I was just like confused. I was like, why is there penises? What are they doing with
Out in the open.
Yeah, they were just there.
This says for tobacco use only, but I've never seen anyone smoke tobacco, just a big fucking dragon bomb. What even?
I was like, what
is
are
it for
they,
flowers?
Lamps? I didn't know.
Is this how you do incense? Everywhere I've been where I've seen one of these, I've smelled incense.
Yeah, it was super weird.
One time I found the San Francisco outlet store.
Oh, God.
It was like near West Ed when I think San Francisco's had shuttered across the city. And it was the weirdest of the weird stuff. It was the stuff they hadn't sold.
Oh, good
all
Lord.
in the same room. It was like, what the fuck?
That would be like entering another dimension. I would not be
pretty
down
much.
with that.
Yeah.
I remember there's like girls in my high school, like I'm pretty sure several of them who got their like first vibrators from San Francisco.
Probably.
That sounds sad. I
Yeah.
guess it's like a proximity
It's
thing.
like, where else? Yeah, it's like I got my first condoms from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
It's like it's where you went when you were 16 and you wanted a dildo.
Did you also get a Slurpee with those condoms?
Probably.
I remember being like thinking I was so funny, like at like 60 or whatever age, being like going to the store and buying condoms, and being like, you know where those are gonna be later. and like the lady just being like, yeah, that's really funny.
In the garbage after you inflated them.
yeah, dropped from your buddy's balcony onto an unsuspecting vehicle. I get it.
That's so funny. Dude, there was a new comic the other day who tried doing a bit, and I love when comedians are just horrible. It's my favorite thing. That was one of the most disappointing things of the Edmonton Comedy Festival. Everyone was really good. It was like, I was hosting the media challenge, and I was expecting one of the like radio hosts to just suck horrible balls, but none of them did. They were all
So
fine.
sorry.
Yeah, but it was last Tuesday, I think, someone sucked really bad, and I got to watch it, and it was the best. He had this bit where he was like, yeah, I can't remember if he was like a teacher or a janitor or some shit. He's like, yeah, in a high school, I'm picking up all these condoms, and he's like, I know the kids aren't using them. He's like, they're just inflated. Why don't I just give them a bunch of balloons instead?
Ooh.
It's just like waited for like laughter and like applause, and I was like, amazing. This is the best.
Oh, I hated that. I hated that when we went to your one show and you were emceeing and just like half of the people you were just sitting there like, and we were close up, so we were like,
Yeah.
so funny. It's just like, what do you do as an audience when you're sitting there and people just suck?
Oh, you do nothing. That's
But
exactly
then
what
they
you
look
do.
at you and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
That's
sorry,
what's
but
so
I'm not
funny
still
about
on.
it. That's the funny part. Is
Yeah,
that they're
it's
like,
cringeworthy.
and you're like, no, and then I'm like,
Yeah, like Alex has been doing it for a long time. I'm about a year and a half in, so I have those in my not so distant memory of just being like, this is a great joke, da 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 da, punchline, and people just being like, no, no, and you're just like, oh, okay, well,
Better luck next time.
yeah, it's a really interesting feeling, and also understanding that like they might not laugh, but they might find it funny.
Yeah.
And you'll just be standing there in a silent room, and you'll get off stage, and someone will be like, "Hey, man, that was a great set," and you're like,
Was it?
"How
yeah,
am I supposed to know?
it's so
Laugh,
funny.
asshole.
You never talk to me."
I love when people like quote your bit. They're like, dude, that one joke about like this was like really funny. You're like, then why do you laugh? Like no one laughed.
I know, yeah, I
Why'd
hate
you-
that.
Why'd you say it? You remember it?
Yeah.
Like,
It's fun to take that lesson though and pluck it out and just kind of apply it to everything else. Like someone's reaction to something you do may have nothing to do with you.
yeah.
They might find something funny, and they might not say it. Or a guy walking towards you, you might think he's giving you a look, and you're like, "The fuck's this guy's problem?" And he's just like has to shit or something. He's just like having a bad day.
Yeah.
And I found anyways,
He's listening to aggressive rap in his headphones.
Yeah, he's just fucking feeling it.
He's just vibing, bro.
But it's really good to pull out, like, to not take people's reactions just in the rest of your life at face value anymore, because you've stood up and told some jokes that you knew were at least decent. No one laughed, and then sometimes they did find it funny, sometimes they didn't. But there's 10 different rooms, you can do the 10 same jokes with the same delivery, and you'll get 10 different reactions.
So it's fun. You just can't trust people at all.
And then I think a lot of people spend a lot of time wondering what other people are thinking about them, or oh fuck, did they see me trip there? They probably think I'm an idiot. But you can just sort of let all that go, which was that was like the biggest thing for me starting comedy.
It's really weird because it feels like everyone thinks that, but because everyone is thinking that, no one else is actually thinking that. They're too busy thinking the same shit.
Yeah.
They're too busy being like, oh no, did they see me do that weird thing? Well, everyone else is like, oh no, someone probably just saw me do that weird thing. And it's like, no, we're all too busy thinking about the weird thing we just did.
I feel like that's the biggest lesson as an adult, that like once you got it, you're like, oh, it's okay.
Totally.
I'm fine.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know?
Things are going to be weird. It's fine.
Yeah.
Things are going to be really weird forever.
Forever.
They're always going to be really weird.
It's never gonna not be weird.
And like you can make sense of some of it, but sometimes you're like, what?
Is there a time that you found out that something that you thought you did that was really weird was like a common thing that everyone does? It's a tough question, but I know there's a million of them.
Masturbating.
Oh man, I found
real.
out. Okay, I found out in like maybe it was grade 10, 11, 12 that one of my friends had never masturbated because he thought it was something toxic, like it was a bad thing.
No.
Dude, that's what they taught us in Catholic school.
They didn't
what
teach
they
us anything about
told us.
sex in Catholic school.
They're like, it's bad to jerk off.
I
It's
remember a friend
sin.
actually thinking it was like gonna be bad if something, and then he tried it and was like, oh, it was so funny because it's, you know, you're like 17 maybe, and then this guy's just discovering something we'd all known for like maybe 5 years by that point, and he's like, whoo, fucking, you guys know about this? We're like, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro, try putting hand cream on your face first.
He doesn't come to school for a week.
I feel like you just got really, really stuck.
Like just now,
Yeah.
a little while back.
Oh, it's so funny though. Yeah, if no one tells you, you don't know, I guess.
Yeah,
That's so true.
dude, it's great.
Like,
Everything
why do
in
I
life
like
is
looking
that
at the Sears catalog bra section? What is this about me? You're like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this away.
I can't think of anything. Oh my god.
There's
Because
probably everything.
yeah.
Like
But there's
probably
nothing, like,
buying
Probably
specific.
anxiety is probably a good one that most of us have. When
Yeah.
the second you realize that you're not the only one who's like, my brain's fucking broken. Oh, there's all these people that feel that way, huh?
Yeah, no, that was a good comforting feeling to be like, I'm not the only one who cries for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, literally everything in life is that way. I found, like opening my first bank account, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and then I found out no one knew what they were doing the first time they opened a bank account. You're like 15,
Oh, man.
you're in a bank. Like,
The first time as an adult that you realize that all the other adults are just fucking dummies that you grew up with.
yeah,
And you realize when you were a kid, you thought all adults kind of had a good grip on things, and you're like, oh, there was also like the total fuck ups,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
still exist around you. And now they're old, and you're supposed to be like respectful to them.
I don't know if
But
that
you realize
makes it feel
quickly.
better or worse. Like,
I think it's comforting because you're like, there's nothing that changes when you become an adult. You don't like, okay, now you're an adult, now you know like how to unplug a toilet and all this other shit.
right?
Yeah,
But
it's like
then,
everyone's
you know what,
just
And
that's what
everyone's out there
YouTube's for.
trying. Yeah, and that's another new thing in the last 10, 15 years. You can learn anything
It's the best.
by watching YouTube.
I liked that bit that you had about how you don't need teachers anymore because you just
Thank
have
you.
YouTube now.
Yeah, that bit works like 6 out of 10 times.
Well, it depends on if there's a teacher in the audience or not.
No, well, the whole bit is basically planned. That clip worked out really well because she like basically led into all the points that I was like, and here's what people would say if I said this, and then she just like said them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you not know if what you're saying makes sense?
No, I do. I just sometimes don't know if other people get what I mean when I say things.
Okay.
That's comedy, baby.
Yeah. Like, I explain my point, then people stare at me, and I'm like, you know? You understand?
I was trying to do sweatshop bits recently, but it just makes people too sad.
Yeah, it makes people so sad.
Yeah. About how, like, you know, people are like, yeah, workers' rights, like, I'm so down. But then Alberta gets an Amazon fulfillment center, and we're like, woo, they chose us! Yes! A week of Prime? I'd love one. Meanwhile, like, there was a story, like, a couple weeks ago. A worker died on the floor during his shift, and they didn't find him for, like, half an hour. And the workers...
Here?
Not here, but
Oh.
at, like, an Amazon
Oh,
place somewhere. And they made the workers keep working while they, like, fucking...
Jesus.
It's like, that's some cutthroat shit.
Wow.
That's fun.
But
That's
my other bit around that was like, what if we found out that poor kids in Asian countries just really like making shoes and iPhones?
It's like they can't wait to get to work.
What if you like, yeah, it's like, you know, like people are like, they hardly pay them. It's like, yeah, they pay us, but like, I just, you know, it's just nice to work with your hands.
I just do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
They're like, we're tired.
I don't think we should rule it out.
Working on cars.
But I like that because you say that and people are like, but it's like, we all know what made in Bangladesh means, but we still buy the shit.
Yeah.
Everyone in the room's wearing stuff from that, but we're like,
Yeah. Dude,
I don't support
you
it.
better not say that.
I tried making a joke about the hypocrisy of like vegans posting about animal rights on their iPhones. It's like, what? Like, how are you like, I can't believe you're locking up chickens, like, sent from my child slavery device.
Yeah, I'm starting to get annoyed by the like, hey, if you want to be a climate activist, you better not be driving. It's like,
You have to
listen,
get places.
you need to live your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Well, there's that, like, cliche thing that's been going around, but it's, like, the most obvious response. It's like, yeah, the dude who was inventing the light bulb did it by candlelight. Like, obviously we would love to do it a different way, but this is all we got. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the fucking point. like, come on, dummies. Like,
yeah. Alberta's reaction to a lot of this stuff has made me very feel not good about being in Alberta.
You're
Yeah.
not just a real proud Albertan.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
It's not been a fun time.
I've been
I-
trying to make fun of the separatists, though. Are you a separatist?
No, I am not.
I think the guys that are separatists are going to be really upset when they realize that they're just the West's Quebec now.
Yes, that's exactly
Like,
what
I
it
fucking
is.
hate French people, but goddamn, they love us now.
Oh God, we're the same.
Good Lord, did they have some good ideas.
Yeah.
Let's do exactly what they did. I hate the shit out of them, but let's be exactly like them.
On Thursday at the Secret Show, I was like, what would our currency be? Like 8 balls?
I love it. Dude, there's a ironic separatist group on the Edmonton, it's like Edmonton Strathcona separates from the Wexit, so it's like the one like the one NDP riding and all of Alberta
man.
is exiting the Wexit. They're like, no, we want to stay part of Canada, but we want you to exit though. Like, you leave, but we want to stay
We're
there.
staying. Yeah, they're the Scotland of the UK.
Yeah, it's super funny.
The world's a goddamn disaster.
Have you had any family members post those Facebook things and you're just like, oh, Dad, like...
No.
Luckily,
no one
I
in my
have not. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh my
Tell
God.
us about it.
My dad, my mom, my brother, my brother's girlfriend, to the point where I've had to like mute them just to be
Oh,
like,
man.
Oof.
I don't want to see this shit. They're all like pipelines, but they don't watch the news. They don't have any idea what's going on in politics, and they're
Yeah.
like, get Trudeau out of there!
Fuck him.
It's like, please read something.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Is this anything?
Yeah, I mean, also fuck Trudeau though, but you know, whatever. He's a
But,
criminal
like,
with this.
You're acting like all politicians are that different.
Yeah, they're
like,
all like.
you want
that's,
Andrew
I don't
Scheer?
like. Yeah, Andrew Scheer's way worse. I would not
Jesus
want
Christ,
him
man.
either.
But like, compared to the US, Canada's politics are like such a fucking joke.
It's a real joke.
It's
Yeah.
such a joke.
I kind of like it.
Well, we're almost
Because
like
it's a joke?
we're almost like the little kid brother who's like, I also have problems.
And they're like,
No,
shut
that's-
up. They're putting
See,
kids
that's
in
what I
cages.
like. I like that we don't have problems. It's like
We're getting there, though.
all of them are not that bad if you really look at it. Like all of them except for Scheer a little bit are generally like, hey, I think everyone should have health care.
Mm.
That's
And,
politics, man. Like everyone
weed
tries to look
should
so
mostly
different,
be
but they're
legal.
all
But in the States, they're literally like, we want guns and abortion to be fucking illegal or legal and illegal.
Every fetus should get a gun just in case someone tries to abort it.
Yeah, like crazy shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like that we don't really have that big of issues. And it's like, Trudeau kind of sucks, but Jagmeet probably had some bad ideas, and also Scheer's
Also,
crazy.
are things that bad for you right now? Like,
no, I'm fine.
things seem totally okay.
Yeah, my buddies are doing alright. You can go to a doctor if you need to. You can go to school if you want to.
It's all gonna be okay, guys.
Yeah. The student loans thing is the one thing that really annoys me. But other than that, and the housing market in BC is fucked.
Oh, so fucked.
But other than those two things, I don't think there's any real like global and climate change. But you know,
that's all of our
We're
problems.
all gonna die in like 50 years.
But also, once the robots take over, they'll probably fix it. We're gonna die before they start treating human pets badly. We've been over this. Our lives are fine.
That's true.
maybe the robots won't treat us badly.
No, they'll treat us good now. But eventually it's gonna be like, we have to fucking take care of these.
But maybe
There's gonna be humane societies full of humanes.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think they might learn from our mistakes and be like, no, just do actually treat them good, and it'll be fine.
We're gonna be an annoyance to them because we're not robots.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think they'll treat us like how we treat
Like, we have to
dogs.
fucking feed them.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll, like dogs. We'll snuggle up to them and we'll be like, thanks for not murdering us today.
So if there was like 7 billion dogs and you needed like way less than that, you'd have to kill a bunch.
No, but
well, you just kill the stupid ones.
maybe they
Everyone
don't
gets
need
a
that
test.
many.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe they do need that many. Maybe
Get
like,
back in frame, bro.
We can get these 7 billion
You lean
dogs.
so far constantly.
I mean, it's comfier that way. Sorry.
Fucking
And it's
apologize.
comfier that way.
God damn.
That anxiety's coming back, I think.
I just like really feel like I need to go. And I'm in my own house.
I need to go home right now. Why? You're allowed to be out of frame.
This is your podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Be in frame.
Why?
Because it's your podcast.
Ain't nobody care what I look like. No one cares. Look,
Alright.
they can hear me. You guys get it.
Oh, fuck. Well, on that note, I don't know how far into this we are.
Stopped 3 times. 2
Okay.
times. So probably like an hour.
Perfect.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on YouTube. Just search Ashley Elizabeth. Just all over. Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, Pornhub. It's all over there.
All of it.
There's legitimately videos of me on Pornhub, but they just upload my YouTube videos to YouTube.
That's how. I've heard that Pornhub has a bunch of stuff that's
A safe for work category.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's not even like safe for work porn. It's just literally like videos.
Yeah.
Like you just watch.
My bit on that is that, yes, it's just videos of like a guy being nice to women and stuff, but there's still big dicks and pussies in all the ads.
Yeah.
Which is what I've noticed.
When you're watching the videos of the
Yeah.
guy being respectful to the
Yeah,
women.
it's like a cool down after a workout.
Yeah. After you watch something
I
really
should write
fucked
that
up.
down.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
cool down.
You can't just put it away. You gotta like.
The blood's not just gonna leave my penis instantly.
Gotta look at some big dicks first.
I write that in my joke folder real quick, just before I forget.
You're a psycho.
Where can people find you, Alex?
AF Comedian on the social medias, comedyaf.com. Search Alex Fortin or Talking Reckless on iTunes and Spotify to listen to my album. And I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. You can find me at Kersey and at YEGs Stand Up, which is where you can find out about all the great shows in town, including The Secret Show every Thursday and Off the Rails Comedy every Wednesday at Station on Jasper.
Alright, later. Enjoy the rest of your lives.